am so excited to find out about the Eclectic Coffee Bar. I am here with Hannah and Nick. You're in the bar right now, right?
We are in one of them. We started with coffee carts, so that's where the original bar came from, and then this is about a year old, so the coffee trailer side of things, yeah.
Very, very nice. Well, let's kind of back up a little bit. What were you guys doing at the time that you decided a coffee cart would be something cool?
We were doing what we always do. We always had a passion for enjoying coffee and enjoying coffee with other people. Um, we actually wanted to have a coffee bar at our wedding, but we could not find one at the time. So we always had this kind of idea in the back of our head. And we're starting to think about ways we could be creative, earn some income. We decided to take our little bit of a tax return we had one year and put it to work to hopefully pay us back. And that's how things kind of got started.
I was also going broke over my hobby because I was drinking too much coffee, trying too many different like coffee shops and roasters. So I had to figure out a way to actually make it work for me. So
There you go. That's right. You get the discount at the place, you now can get it wholesale. There you go.
yeah, exactly.
What year did you start with the coffee cart?
So we started with the coffee carts officially in 2020. We did our first few events about 3 years prior, before we had kids, and then just a series of events with his job, and then me going back to work full time officially started 2020, and it was an interesting year to start because it was right there 2 weeks
Right.
before COVID. We were kind of like, what are we doing? Despite because we
Yeah.
were planning on doing weddings and catering for events, and we had to shift our focus then towards like outdoor farmers markets, and it actually turned out wonderful, and we loved it. So worked out.
Yeah. No offense, but I don't drink coffee. So, do
Okay.
you guys have other options for non-coffee drinkers like me?
We sure do. We have your tea options. We do hot tea, iced teas. We also do like matcha tea lattes, chai tea. So if you any of the teas we go into, and then we're still developing recipes, whether it's going to be something similar to like a juice or a mocktail or something like that. Don't want to go into the alcohol side of things at this point in our lives, but we're still always like coming up with different recipes and that kind of thing for the non-coffee drinkers, but also for the coffee drinkers. So.
Yeah, for sure. Just variety is great.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you guys, I know you go out to events and farmers markets and things like that, and then you can also be hired out for special events, weddings, and all of that sort of stuff too. How is the calendar looking?
It's looking for us. It's looking pretty full. Like I said, we now have three. So three young kids, and I homeschool
That's
during the week.
unbelievable.
Yeah. So that's our first and primary focus. And so for us, this business is supposed to be part time. Certain seasons, like spring and fall, they turn into, and now winter with the trailer, they turn into looking more like a heavy part time, almost into full time, if I can say that. So
Yeah.
the calendar fills up, and I'm already looking at some weddings getting booked into next year, and then someone 2 years from now. So,
Holy cow.
it's looking good at this point.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
mean, you got to be pretty proud of that because, it's not so often that in just a few short years, you're tripling your reach or your capacity to get out there and, service, people's events and your own. That's really cool.
Yeah. Like I
Yeah.
said, part time, so weekends mostly, and then some special occasions during the week. But and during
Yeah.
those like pumpkin seasons and holiday seasons, we definitely are out a lot more. So yeah.
Yeah. What would you have to achieve, or would you ever get to a point where you feel like that this could be a full-time gig for you?
We talk about that a lot. So I think for us, it's mainly where are our kids at, and can we provide support them financially? And they're so young at this point that I think we're at the more tenure plan for him to kind of retire a little bit, maybe, if that's what he wants. Maybe that'll look different in 10 years, who knows?
Sure.
And it also depends, this business is for the kids. So, like I said, I homeschool, so part of their education is, hey, we're learning how to count in the trailer, learning customer service. So it just depends on how much they want to help out in the future too.
Sure.
So I don't know, maybe full time, maybe
Yeah.
stay part
Yeah.
time. Maybe the kids
Well,
want to take it a whole different direction.
yeah. And, there's always an opportunity where you have a full staff that is just managing that whole side. You still work, and it's, it's kind of
Right.
getting that love too. So a lot of options for you. And I love the fact that the kids are learning all about business, because business is life. And when you can figure out how you treat people and counting money and the real side of running a business, that's a phenomenal education. My kids grew up in my first business as well, and I think it's really they've gotten a lot out of that. And I'm happy to come teach a marketing class to your kids when they get a little bit older.
I'll come learn from it too, because that's probably my worst part. It's the marketing.
Yeah, I'm happy to school y'all. It's all good.
All right.
Okay, so so other than I'm assuming it's really just being stretched thin would be one of the biggest challenges that you guys face, kind of in figuring out what the next step is, or is it? Like, what has been the biggest challenge so far, minus the pandemic, because that obviously was a challenge for everybody, but have you had any others?
I would say that the biggest challenge for us has been just the variability of serving coffee. If we're doing a catering event, that's pretty straightforward, but we can go to some markets, and whether it be uh, like an antique consignment market, or a farmer's market or something like that, and the week to week is rather unpredictable. And even the people that run the market or run the venue, they'll say it's unpredictable for them as well. So
Sure.
that would be the main challenge. And I would say every time we try to take on something new, or it took us some time to build up having spares in our equipment inventory. And so we had a lot of scrambling, and but I think we've figured some of those things out. So now it's kind of more just like I said, we uh, we equally have a passion for coffee, and Anna really enjoys making great coffee for people and bringing the same joy that she gets from it to
Yeah.
customers and to
Yeah.
people, to just other people, whether it might be a wedding, and we get to sit and have a conversation with somebody else with the shared interest. Um, but for me, it's also just the joy of giving my kids the opportunity to have this education. But I also learn a lot from this business too.
Mm.
And I do have a full-time job, but there's so much that I gain from this, and a lot of joy comes from it, because I get to be very close to the people that I'm serving with this. It's not
Yeah.
like there's layers of, of structure in our business. It's really just us loading up and making coffee, and we trade off on a lot of the different aspects of preparation, and then when we're out and about and doing stuff. So um, I think for us, it's just looking as time goes on, we'll see where our family leads us, and this is an opportunity for our kids to learn. Um, for them to kind of invest in themselves as well. They can uh, kind of understand maybe what they want to do long term in their life.
Whether your kids decide they want to continue it or not, again, enjoying the experience as it's happening, enjoying, every single day. That is really the greatest part, right? If you can be as a family and kind of have these experiences, whether or not this business goes for 20 years or not, I think that's great. Do you source your beans from anyone in particular, or are you always trying different roasters, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we actually partner with a few different roasters over the course of the 4 years we've been open. Right now, locally, we are partnering with Cannon Coffee Roasters, and the roaster there was formerly with another name. He was under another name, and then moved over with Cannon. And so I've had a partnership with him since the beginning, which is great because we've just gone through life together. And then we also partner with Cordial Coffee out in Berryville, and the Well down in Nashville. They reached out to us after we picked up our trailer in Nashville. And they have a great program where they give back for water in other countries, building wells. So that's where their name comes from. They've all, they've supported us. They've sent us events sometimes. And we get to, Canon also does a coffee cart, I think more for like schools and stuff like that. And so, it's a good, I'm able to bounce ideas off of them and work with them. And the same with just the education and learning about the beans and where they source them from and that kind of thing. So I learn a lot from our roasters.
Where can people find out where you are? Do you guys post that to social if it's a public event, obviously?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we do post it on, usually you'll see it on Facebook coming up, Instagram, but we also have our website where we have a whole list of our events.
We look forward to seeing you guys out and about, and I will come try one of the teas for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, and we will, I think what we'll do is follow up in a couple of months. Maybe as things get cooler, we can come out when you're out somewhere and check out the trailer and watch you guys work and do a follow-up then.
I love that. That'd be awesome.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. Really appreciate today. And look out for Eklectic Coffee Bar.
Thanks, Danny.
Thank you.